Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aaron, better known as TeAmoAaron. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. This is something that I've been putting off. I just feel like, you know, social media and YouTube and everything, you want to come across as not perfect, but you want to look your best self, like when you're presenting yourself to the internet and to social media and people you don't know. All I want to do is inspire, specifically inspire women. And so I wanted to make this video to share that I'm not perfect and that I did drop out of college for a semester. It wasn't for like years or anything, but I did drop out of college. I literally withdrew from all my classes, dropped out of college. I get so many messages like, oh, how did you get your scholarship for free? I made a video about how to go to school for free and how I'm anti-debt and I'm like afraid of student loans. And I will link that video here, but I'm not perfect, and this journey was not without its obstacles. And I really want to share today what happened back in 2013 when I dropped out of college. All right, so I am 26 years old. I graduated from high school in 2009. I graduated from college in 2013, but I graduated in December 2013 when I should have graduated in May. I'm not nervous to say, but it's just like, it was such a hard time in my life. So to even like go back there, it's like, oh my God. Okay, in March or April 2012, my boyfriend of 4 years called me on the phone and said, I want nothing to do with you. Good day. And I was like, it was very hard. Like, that was like the worst time of my life. I had been dating that same person since I was like 16 years old. So I was devastated. I was devastated. I feel like I've shared this before, but this is like the pre-story to the how I dropped out of college, or why I dropped out of college. It's from the second he told me he no longer wanted to be with me, exactly a year, I did not speak to him at all. Like when someone says they don't want to be with me, I'm like, oh, okay, bye. But inside I'm dying. Like he had no idea what was going on. I literally had to move out of my family home to an apartment with my friend downtown. She let me like crash in her bed with her. Like I slept in her bed the entire summer. Like I was so thankful for her at that time. And the reason why I moved out is because my ex was my neighbor. Like, here's my house, here's his house. So if I drove by, I could see his car. So in August, I went back to DC, thank God, so I can like be literally away from him. And I started dating this guy. I was a senior and he was a freshman. Not a good idea, you know, and he was older for his grade. I was younger for my grade. So it was like, it could have been a sophomore junior situation, but he just was rebound. Come spring, January, I start to feel weird. Like my entire body shut down, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I literally had the worst back pain that I've ever experienced. My back was on fire. Like I can't even explain. It was like, I'll show you where. It was like right here. Like I just had terrible back pain, and I was like, did I sleep the wrong way? Like it was just on fire. I could barely walk. Like I could not walk. I could not move. It was just the worst pain. I was vomiting. I was throwing up. I had a fever, and I was like, what the heck? Like I used to not get sick like that. Like I might get a cold, but I've never been like hospitalized, okay? So I found out basically why my back pain was hurting so badly is because I had a kidney infection. So a kidney infection is like a UTI that went really, really badly. So if you hold your pee, like when you're studying or something like that, you can develop a UTI. And then if you don't treat that UTI, it could turn into a kidney infection. And I think in women, I'm almost positive it's like easier to get UTIs. I'm not a doctor, I don't know. But that is what I was told was happening. Even to this day, like I'm not thirsty. Like I don't drink a lot of fluid. It's not like, oh, I don't like water. It's just, I don't drink a lot of fluid, like just fluid. So I think I just wasn't, I don't know. I just wasn't urinating enough. I wasn't going to the restroom. I was holding it, and it turned into a terrible situation. So I got something called pyelonephritis. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that properly, but I'll put the lovely word here. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. So first it starts at a UTI, then it goes to a kidney infection, and then if you don't take care of that, it gets to like a blood situation, and that's like when it's really, really bad. So thank God they caught it. I was hospitalized for an entire week, and it was horrible. My mother had to fly in from Atlanta to be with me in DC. I can't even remember what hospital. Like the whole time was just a blur. I'm just like, how is this happening? Like, how is this happening right now? It was just really surreal, like eating the hospital food and just like, it was a rough time. It was rough. And I was just like, am I like dying? Like, what's happening? So I get back to school and I couldn't go to class. I just refused to go to class. I just didn't go. I could not physically go to class. It's as if something in my mind turned off. I just was out of it. I was like, I would just sit in my room, stare at the walls until my friends got out of class, and then I'd go hang out with them. But it was like I couldn't, like, you know how people have writer's block? Like I had like just this block where, you know, I had just got out this relationship with this guy. I'm in this new relationship with this guy who I'm not really into. And then now I got to the hospital. So I think my anxiety was through the roof, but I wasn't having a panic attack. Like some people who have anxiety are like, oh my God, you know, so you know that they're having a panic attack. But my panic attacks are very internal. And I haven't had that many panic attacks in my life, but it's just this feeling inside where I can't move. I cannot go anywhere. And my anxiety hit a new level that it's never been before. I've suffered from anxiety since I was probably 16 years old. I had test taking anxiety, and basically it kind of stemmed around the SAT time. I literally had to like take my tests in school in the hallway because my heart would be beating really fast. Like felt like the walls were coming in on me, and I was just like about to like explode, and I felt like people could hear my stomach growling. Like I would eat a whole meal, but my stomach would still be growling as if I had not eaten because I was so anxious. I don't know. I can't even explain it. So that's really where it started. So I always had some anxiety deep down, but it had been suppressed ever since high school. Like everything was fine. And then I get to my senior year, and here's this anxiety again. So it seems as if during transitional periods of my life, graduating from high school, graduating from college, this anxiety just hits me. And that's what was happening to me. And I was supposed to be graduating in May. It's January. What am I gonna do with my life? And I just shut down. I just shut down. I told my mom I can't go to class. Like I can't. My mom was like, oh, you have a scholarship, so you will be going to class. And I was like, who gonna make me go? You're in Atlanta, I'm in DC. Like, who's gonna make me go? She was like, you know, we'll figure something out. Like, figure it out, basically. I was all right. So I talked to some administrators in the financial aid office, and I was like, I need a medical leave of absence. Like I used the hospital part as an excuse, but it was really like a mental thing as well. I started seeing a therapist like once a week. Like I felt like a crazy person. Like I felt crazy. So I was seeing this therapist. I had just got out of the hospital. So I was like, I need a medical leave. Like something is wrong. It's more than just, oh, I'm nervous. Like this is I am diagnosed an anxious person. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm paying money to help my diagnosis. Like it's not nerves. This is like something completely different. So I went to the financial aid office, asked them, could I get a medical leave? And they were like, well, there is a certain committee that meets like once every so often to see if certain students who put in like an application for a medical leave, they see if they approve it or deny it. So she was like, I can't tell you right now, but the committee will see it in like a month. And I was like, okay, like, I mean, if they don't accept the medical leave, I'm still not going to class. So I was like, all right, like this is my last shot so I can like get my scholarship back in the fall. That's the point of the medical leave, so that I can get, you know, transfer this money to the next semester. Comes back a month later, Aaron Thompson, you're approved. And I was like, hallelujah, thank God. So I have like hella W's on my transcript. Dropped like 6 classes that semester. Everything worked out. So I stayed in DC. I was just kicking it, you know, not going to class, didn't have to do anything. We had already paid for housing. So it was like, oh, well, I'll just stay. May comes around, and that's when everyone's graduating. Like all my friends graduated, everyone in my class, who like even acquaintances, everybody was graduating except me. And I was devastated. I had to fly back home to Atlanta early because I did not want to see them graduate. And one of my friends was really upset with me, and that's understandable, but I felt like she wasn't seeing where I was coming from. Like I was like, this is the most devastating thing that's happening to me. Like I cannot watch you walk across the stage and I'm not even doing it. But you know, I see her side. I remember one friend, when I told her what was going on, she was like, but you were only out of school for a week, so what's the big deal? Like she was just like, I mean, yeah, you were in the hospital, but you only missed a week of school, so why do you need to drop out? Like it's not that serious. And safe to say we're not friends anymore, not because of that situation, but because clearly that's her personality. Like you can tell that I was like, yeah, I cannot allow that energy around me. So I was just like, I mean, if you don't understand mental illness and you don't get it, it sounds stupid. And I get that, you know, it's like, so you were nervous to go to class, so you didn't go to class, so you had to drop out of class. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, I'm nervous too. Why don't we all get medical leaves? And I'm just like, you know, if you don't get it, you don't get it. And if you do, you know exactly where I'm coming from. So I really don't care what people think about me. I got my scholarship back and I finished in the fall for free. So everything is not roses and butterflies, and everything just has not happened for me. Like even post-graduation, after I got my master's degree, it took me 7 months to land a job. Even after college, it took me an extra semester to graduate, so I graduated in December, and then it took me until December, no, it took me till 9 more months, September, when I got accepted into graduate school. That's 9 months. So you know, there have been so many long transition periods in my life, and I'm like, why are things not happening now? And it's because there's a place for me. I'm supposed to be in a certain place, and that's what God wants for me. So I've learned to be patient, even though I'm still not. I've learned in my mind just to be like, you know what? You know, it's all good. It's all good. It's not my timing. Hope you can apply what's happened to me to your own lives and understand that anxiety is normal. Mental illness should not be seen as a stigma, like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? You know, seek help, find help. Getting a therapist, there's nothing wrong with getting a therapist. My friends text me all the time, like, my therapist said this. And it's like, that's funny because I remember telling you the same thing, but it's different when it comes from someone who's a professional, someone who's an unbiased party. Hope you guys got something out of this video. Like, things happen. It's normal to be a little crazy and need some help. Like, you know, we're not meant to go through this life alone. The reason why I even started YouTube in the first place is because when I was going through those anxious times, when I was going through like heartbreaks and this and that, I turned to YouTube. And I know that sounds so weird, but I turned to women on the internet who were going through things like I was. No one in my life was going through anxiety. Nobody in my life was going through hair transitioning. Everybody wore their hair straight. You know, nobody's going natural. So I turned to people on the internet. And I want to be that source of light for some of you out there. And that's just my dream. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in my next one.